In today's update, we have a report of some major crime happening in Wichita, Kansas, which seems to be spiking pretty unnaturally. And if it's happening there, I promise you it's happening everywhere. Also, we're going to be talking about how to fight some of the scams going around. We had mentioned those previously last week about a bunch of the scams that are happening and some practical steps that you can take to protect yourself and your family. Canada having some serious issues with prescriptions up there as well, and a bunch of fake products on Amazon that don't work. Make sure you're not purchasing these things. Plus, more updates from around the world from you guys. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are information updates that you guys are sharing with what you guys are seeing where you are. Please do keep them coming in. Just use the word update on any comment on this channel that gets it to the right place. Let us know geographically, roughly where you are so we can make use of that information. Appreciate you guys all. And we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts get out of risky things like stocks and bonds and into something safer like gold, silver, or platinum. This is the time of the year. It's definitely a good thing to think about. Where is your investments of your retirement account? And is it really safe where it is? If you want to talk to Jonathan and his team, there will be a link at the end of the video to get some more information. John says, on the lack of pet food issue, I heard some years ago that the WEF wants all of us to have no pets. Looks like they mean to price us out of having pets or just not put the pet foods on the shelves. I'm a keeper of 2 dogs and a cat here in the UK. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that there is an agenda going forward where they're trying to make it so that people just can't afford pets anymore? I mean, obviously, cats fart, and if they're concerned about cow farts, they probably are concerned about cat farts as well. Do they really want to just get rid of all of our pets? Do you think that they're moving forward with that, and that's why we're having issues with pet food? Let me know down in the comments down below. G says, I'm a former law enforcement officer. If someone calls you, this is about scams, right? If someone calls you and says that they have been arrested and need money, you should always call the jail or the arresting agency yourself and confirm the arrest before sending money. If it turns out to be fraud, then you can report it immediately to the police because you have them on the line. That's a good thought. But in general, too, just make sure that you call them. And that's a really good rule out there for everything, right? If you get a call from somebody, if you get an email from somebody, email them back, right? We've all gotten suspicious emails from people. It's best to email them back because they may not know they've been hacked, right? And that's always good for them to know that they've been hacked. But then also, nowadays it's becoming where phone calls, they can mimic your voice. And if that's the case, you need to actually make sure you're calling them on their cell phone, calling them on their phone, and make sure you're actually talking to them, not just somebody who sounds like them. Also, be thinking about what kind of questions you can ask them that only they would know. That's important too. Jan in Allentown has some things to talk about that too. Our family has a code phrase for emergencies. It's almost like you see in the movies where one spy identifies their contact by using a phrase, right? The other thing we do is never say yes or your full name on a phone call because they can record that, right? And then they can either make up a phone call and then use that as basis for, you approved some kind of wire transfer or you approved a purchase or something. So don't ever say your full name and don't say yes unless you know who you're talking to. That's particularly on inbound calls, right? When somebody's calling you, I had that just a while back where some bank or something like that, they called me and they're like, we have an issue or whatever. And they, I think it was legitimate. But they started asking, if you get a phone call and they start asking you for information, I don't care who they say they are, you really need to be like, I can't trust you. If you want to give me information, okay, cool. But if you need me to give you information, well, then you better tell me to call you guys, because it's not going to happen that way. Even if they're like, we're shutting down your credit card, or we're no, you should be able to call them. Janet Allentown also says, don't ever use your full name or say the word yes with someone you don't know or on a phone call. Those can be lifted too easy. J-Chap says, my son goes to a gaming store his friend just started, and the AC hasn't been working. And he told his friend to talk to the landlord before it gets really hot there. He talked to the landlord, and he came out to check it out. The landlord discovered that the AC units, actually, 4 of them total, were on the roof of the building, were stolen. Things are getting bad here. No one messes with them while in the shop because, is open for business, because open carry, right? It's Wichita, right? Kansas. But in the middle of the night, that's when they're stealing everything they can get their hands on. So be aware of that, friends, that if it's getting bad in Wichita, Kansas, it's going to be getting bad basically everywhere. Selenian says, our local hospital in northwestern Pennsylvania has been charging a technical facility fee of $300 when you go to the departments like the ER, pain management, neurology, etc., and any specialty doctors within the hospital. They just tack that fee right on there. I just received a letter regarding this fee for an upcoming doctor's appointment. We're going to charge you an extra $300. For what? They will just charge it to your Medicare or Medicaid, VA coverage, or TRICARE, or another insurance if you have it. But if it's not covered due to a deductible, you have to pay the fee. Needless to say, I will be calling about this and canceling my appointment. Delina says, I ordered 2 GE water filters, General Electric water filters, for my French door refrigerator as replacements. Went to, and this is on Amazon, they did. Went to reinstall them and could not get any water or ice. Error message says replace water filter. After taking it out and putting it back in several times, turns out that neither one of them worked. These were $50 each. I contacted Amazon where I had ordered them, and because I had ordered them past the return date, they are unwilling to take them. Had a friend look at them, and they're supposed to have a chip in them that was visible under the plastic wrapper, but these don't. They also are made in China. So make sure that you're buying the product that you think you're buying on Amazon or anywhere else. Be careful about buying from a different supplier. Sometimes, the product will be by the company, but then there'll be some other suppliers selling that same product. It may not be the same product. Those filters in China may be the same filters, just without the chip, because GE may be controlling the chip, and China can't replicate the chip. So especially with things that have chips in them, like inks and stuff like that, make sure that the product that you're buying actually will work. And if you have any question whatsoever, make sure you check, you get that package and you use it before the return date's up, right? So that you can return it if necessary. Rhonda says, a friend who's disabled received a letter from social services to update info for food benefits to continue. Info was due back on February 1st, although they didn't receive the letter until February 3rd. They stopped at the office to discuss. The room was full of others. No English spoken there at all. And people keep saying, oh, they can't receive benefits. They can't receive benefits. Well, then why are they? That's the question. Why are they receiving benefits when we're told that they can't? Because they absolutely can. They're getting their paperwork from the government to be here, and they don't have to leave for 5 years. and they're immediately being signed up for all sorts of benefits. It's a gravy train, friends. It's a gravy train. Rocker Mom says, I received an email from Spectrum that Congress did not pass the bill to keep the ACP, or the assistance for cell phones and wireless and stuff like that. My auto insurance rates are now $160 more a month, and I have a clean driving record. I wake up every day praying that this will change for the better soon. I have cut back on just about everything just to survive another week to the end of the month. Friends, do what you can out there. I mean, pray, but then try to find ways to make things work. And if that means making a little bit of income, finding a way that you can make a little bit of money on the side if you don't have any income. If you're on fixed income, either tap into savings, tap into the equity of your home. If you own your own home, do something, because it's getting bad out there. And also, friends, if you have people in your life, if you have people in your community that need assistance and you have the ability to help them, please do be reaching out. I don't quite get not being part of a community like a church, but because that's my community. That's what we do. We look out for each other. We look out for the people that are struggling in our church family. But don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. But be part of a community first. That's the most important thing right there, because then you actually have people to ask. M says, went to Walmart to pick up a few items, got in the long self-checkout line. I noticed that only the 3 of the stations out of the 15 were operating. Only 2 of them could take cash. The other was cards only. I started looking around and noticed that there were actually 4 manned checkout lines open. Maybe shrink on the stores has turned out to be more expensive than having employees. Oh, that wasn't how we were supposed to get to that. We're supposed to protest and such like that, but apparently all it took was just a bunch of people shoplifting enough to get the employees back on the checkouts, huh? Tyler says, I'm having the same problem in my area at my job here in Western Pennsylvania, just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As a former bagger and now a front-end coordinator, as I call it, it's a very thankless job. We hardly have any baggers anymore, and the ones that do go slower than Moses. I think it's slower than molasses, but slower than Moses. Okay. When things in the store have to get done, we just don't have the help or the staff like we used to before the cough. I also have this feeling that our corporate store, formerly independent store, are trying to force all of us workers who have been here for 10 years or more out the door. Of course they do. They want to pay you less. They want to pay your replacements less. But that's a big challenge there too. LMB says pet medication in Ontario, Canada. 2 months ago, I put in an email for a refill on my animal's medication. I was told that they need 48 hours to fill it. So this time I put the script in 3 days ahead, called to see if it's ready. They told us that they now need 72 hours and they would call when it's ready. So even pet medications are having issues out there that are not normal. So it's not just human medications, but pet medications as well. Also, my internet house phone, I don't have a cell, went up $45 a month. They were just saying that they're up $150 some a month for just a house phone and an internet connection. If you're paying that much, you might want to call the providers, because they may be able to give you a discounted rate less than that, or they may be trying to push you completely off of their service. And if they're doing that, they're just going to keep hiking the rates until you quit. But we're seeing a lot of that out there too. A lot of internet providers and phone companies are really trying to get rid of phones out there, landlines. They don't want anyone on landlines anymore because it's just too expensive for them to keep the system up. All right, friends, if you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.